I went to the largest fighting game event in the Midwest to play Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls early and try their latest character, Black Panther. And if I'm being completely honest, Black Panther and this latest build of Marvel Tokon has got to be the best the game has felt and looked since its initial reveal. I want to take the time in this video to go over her entire kit as well as give my own opinions on what her game plan will probably look like once this game drops in August. First, I'll showcase her moveset in its entirety, and then we can kind of break things down on what each of the moves are all about. So here's a neat little summary that I've compiled. And now that you all know what the general idea is of what our moves look like, we can now go ahead and do a more in-depth. Vast's Blessing is the unique for Black Panther, and it utilizes its own special meter and has 4 total bars. This move can be done by using the unique button and any directional input. Each variation can either send you into the sky, charging forwards, or jumping into the sky before coming back down and pushing yourself forwards. The cool thing about Vast's Blessing is that it can be used to cancel / follow up any move that you do. Enter the block string and you want to continue that pressure? Use Vast's Blessing to lay on actions in combinations with your assists. But something important to note is that Vast's Blessing has collision, meaning if you try to use this move without them jumping in the air or on the ground in a knockdown state, you will not cross up. So be sure to keep that in mind while you're thinking of ways to position yourself around the screen. But you might be asking yourself, what's the best way to make sure I always have Vast's Blessing meter to use? Well, that's where this input normal comes into play. Divine Right is to this game what Key Charge is to Dragon Ball FighterZ, a directional input move performed by holding back and heavy. Shuri crosses her arms as she performs the Wakanda Forever pose before beginning to charge her Vast's Blessing meter. This move isn't just for gaining unique meter though. If you are in the Wakanda Salute pose, you will armor any hit until she transitions into that charging state pose. This move can also be used to repel opponents away from Black Panther due to the knockback that an opponent can take if they attempt to get too close or attack within a certain range. This is a move to be used in a multitude of different scenarios, so be sure to always take into consideration what can be done at any time. Spirit Bashenga is going to be your go-to projectile. It travels fast, it hits hard, and can cover 2 different angles depending on the variation you select. The light shoots a spear forward while the medium hits at a 45-degree angle. The EX version of this move applies a ton of hit stun, letting you convert combos easier and or setting up for a tag situation. Depending on the assist you use, Spear can be a devastating projectile to land in neutral and can turn the tide of any interaction in your favor. Wild Hunt is a hit grab special that sees Panther launch an opponent into the air before firing off her gauntlet. Unlike the rest of her specials, this move at least looks like it generates the most unique bar. So be sure to use this as a combo enter to allow for as much meter as possible, or use a Blessing Dash in order to chase the opponent down for a more damaging combo. Predator Art's the multi-hitting spear move whose last hit depends on what button you press. This move sees Shuri swing her spear towards the ground before performing either a low kick, a medium kick, or a swing of her spear overhead. If this move is used on an aerial opponent, the initial swing lets you catch them and convert for a combo. This move is going to be her most popular to use in combos as the aerial version sends them to the ground similar to Star-Lord's kick and lets you call an assist to catch them and keep the combo going. Vibranium daggers is the second projectile Black Panther has in her arsenal. She rises towards the sky before throwing 2 sets of daggers towards the ground in front of her. And honestly, to me, it kind of feels like the weakest move that she has. The projectile feels slow to come out, the angle of them isn't honestly all that great, and if you really need a projectile ender for a block string, you're better off just throwing a spear instead. Maybe I'm just not using the move correctly, but if you played her this past weekend, please let me know what you think of that move, because honestly, I don't really see a purpose for it. I'm not sure. All right, now that we got all the specials out of the way, we can get into Warrior Queen is a vertical aimed super that sees Shuri attack the opponent with a barrage of attacks before ending with a blast from her gauntlet. The startup of the super is invincible, and the ending leaves the opponent in a knockdown state. If you want to end your combo with some more damage, this super is the way to go every single time. And then we have the final and most arguably important super in her kit. Heart-shaped herb is your traditional install super. Costing 100 skill points, this move allows Shuri's instant access to a full but draining bar of Bast's Blessing for her to use, and even more importantly, you are now allowed to use Bast's Blessing an unlimited amount of times until that meter is completely gone. For those wondering what that's like, think of a better version of something like Jill from UMVC 3. For those who are unaware, in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Jill has access to a super called Mad Beast. When she enters this state, anytime she presses a direction, instead of moving, she will perform a dash that can be used to cancel any normal and or special. She has access to this until the meter drains, and from there you can kind of see where I'm getting at, and I'll get a pretty good idea that this is the same thing that's happening in the game. Black Panther having access to a super that will let you always cancel no matter what is a huge deal for her, and if you plan to play this character, it's pretty much worth saving the meter until you can let it rip for the most use possible. Bast's Fury is only accessible after performing Heart-shaped Herb. Bast's Fury sees Black Panther slash at the opponent before jumping into the sky, charging her suit's kinetic energy, and then slamming to the ground and releasing it all in a giant energy ball. This is her big hitting super, and the most optimal way to use it, in my opinion, is to just wait until the meter is almost about to expire, so you not only get to use all of the dashes, but get the damage from this hyper. And that, my fellow Tokon enjoyers, is her entire moveset in the game as of the combo breaker build that was laid out to us. Now, putting it all together, I'm pretty sure we can figure out what's Black Panther and Tokon excels at using long-range attacks to catch the opponent off guard and then following up with Bast's Blessing to convert into a full sequence. Be sure to always stick to using her medium and heavy buttons, as her light attack is one of the worst buttons I have ever seen in this game when it comes to normals. Like, deadass, I'm serious, I do not recommend trying to beat any button in this game with light on her, like, ever. Like, you see this shit? That shit sucks! When it comes to block strings, a safe option you can always go for is ending your string in a standing heavy, and then you'll want to throw a spear into your assist call. Depending on what you set up as your assault, you'll have the space to back up from the offense, or you can just then start your string up again, but mix in some high-low guessing for either Predator arts or even just a Bast's Blessing cancel. If you find yourself in a position where the unique meter is low and you'd rather focus on building it, then full screen keep away will be your bread and butter. Throw spears, call assist, and if you're lucky enough to have the assist hit, use your EX spear to give yourself time to perform Divine Right in order to build as much meter as you can. Remember, the end goal for her is getting her into that install state with a heart-shaped herb. A Black Panther that has access to infinite cancels and infinite offense is not something the opponent should take lightly, and if you can force it early on in the match, the better time you'll have piloting the character overall. Typical combo routes will take advantage of crouching medium and heavy into jump canceling standing heavy in order to set up an aerial Predator arts, as this allows for an easy assist call setup to keep the ball rolling. A good example of using your Bast's Blessing in combos is to cancel any hit of crouching heavy during a combo, as it allows you to jump up to your opponent fast and convert with an aerial sequence. And the last bit of advice I can give is that dash heavy covers a lot of the screen. On a launch, I could easily see this being a go-to spam move until people learn how to counter it when they see it. But even with that knowledge, I really do encourage you to at least use standing heavy and jumping heavy in order to hit as much of the space around Black Panther as you can, as opposed to just swinging blindly with light or medium if you're trying to fish around for a hit. And for now, my fellow time travelers, that is all I have to cover when it comes to breaking down Black Panther's moveset and her game plan in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. This is a newer format of doing things that I'm used to, so if you enjoyed this video, please let me know by dropping a like down in the comments below and letting me know what you think of Black Panther after watching this breakdown. And if you want more Marvel Tokon videos, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you'll never miss out on anything Marvel Tokon related from my channel. I'll be uploading some full sets I was able to record at the event with my friends, so be on the lookout for that next. But until next time, this has been Zeno, your residential time god, signing off.